Hey, what's going on? All right, so hopefully you're getting a little bit of stuff done. I actually added a shop to the a shop page to the side project that I've been working on, and it's just a spreadshirt shop, and so I'm just adding an iframe to it, and yeah, works pretty cool. Like I said, I'm using Astro, and astro.build is the website. Let me put that in the chat. Let me double check to make sure that is the actual, just in case. I've spoken about Astro before, and you know what? Maybe let's take a quick look at it. And so before we get into the other thing, but yeah, let me share my screen real quick. Oh, but yeah, let me add, since I'm talking about it, let me add the link to the list of links to the archive page. Cool. Yeah. How are y'all doing? Hopefully you're getting stuff done. All right. Start screen share. All right. So this right here. Let me share audio just in case. Also, don't think I'm gonna need it, but just in case. All right. So this is Astro. It's pretty cool. What I like about it, it's always good when Fireship does like a video on it. So shout out to Fireship. So what it is you build faster websites with less client-side JavaScript. So it's kind of like a compiler. Well, I think it is a compiler. And what happens is you build your project out of all these different components, what have you, right? And what you can do is when you build it, it will strip out all the JavaScript. So it will go and create I guess almost like static pages, sort of. I'm not sure how that actually works. Well, some parts of it. It depends, I guess. I wonder. But basically, it's supposed to, if you don't want JavaScript, it will kind of compile everything, does everything it needs, and is just there, like just HTML and CSS, which is pretty cool. And so, yeah, for technology built on top of 3 different languages, the modern web seems to focus an awful lot on JavaScript. We don't think it has to, and that's certainly not a revolutionary concept. And you can check it out, a whole bunch of stuff. It's pretty cool. And then they have the documentation. And so I've just been kind of following this and everything, just kind of putting it together. Because the project I'm working, there's only like a couple of pages that really need JavaScript. And so what's cool is that you can actually bring in like your favorite JavaScript framework. Don't know where it's on here, but you can bring in I'm using Svelte. So it has the compiler for that. So it'll compile the code so that it's just HTML, CSS, or HTML and CSS. Now you can also, if you need JavaScript, you can have it say you have different ways of loading JavaScript. So they have one which is pretty cool. Like when that component becomes visible on the page, then it will load the JavaScript. But before that, it's just HTML and CSS. And so that's the partial hydration stuff there. Or you can load it on load, or you can load it when the site is not busy and it can load the JavaScript. You can defer and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, seems pretty awesome. So I'm kind of playing around with that. So hopefully at some point, maybe show it on here or what have you. Think I've been working. Because again, it's only like a couple of things that actually need JavaScript to work. So everything else is pretty much just like static data. So as a JavaScript developer advocate, I appreciate that. So you don't need JavaScript for everything. You know what I mean? So let's use it for what it needs to be. So that way it's that much more powerful. All right, cool. So let me stop sharing my screen real quick so I can set up the other thing. But so yeah, that's cool and all. But I wanted to talk about this thing that I've known about for a couple of years, maybe. And let's see, share my screen again. And it's pretty cool. And there's a new thing that came out because one of the things I had was like, well, where do I put this stuff? Like, where can I put it so that it will actually work? And so, and again, I never really looked into it as much because I had other things to do. But now, it has this new thing that you can do, and it seems pretty interesting. And so it makes it to where the barrier of entry of me wanting to try it out seems like it might be a little bit better. Because before I was like, where am I going to host this server thing? So, but now it looks like everything is kind of like a lot simpler to deploy it. All right, but yeah, so what I'm talking about is a runtime called Deno. I think it's Deno or Dino. Either way, it's created by the same person who created Node. So if you ever heard of Node, it's basically like JavaScript on a server. So this is Ryan Dahl's like go around again. So took all the things that he's learned from like creating Node. And so the thing is, Node has gotten so big that you can't really change anything on there without it messing up a lot of stuff. So a lot of times it's like this thing has grown so huge that in order to get the ideas that you want to get, like things that you saw from this thing when it grew so huge that you'd like to change, but it's too late to change because it's so huge, you might as well start with something new again. And so I think that's the thought process behind Deno. And it's funny because it's the same letters. So Node. So I don't know if people saw that, but word. All right. And I don't even know if that's was what they thought, but neither here nor there. So yeah, so Deno is a runtime for JavaScript and TypeScript that is based on the V8 JavaScript engine. So basically just like Node and the Rust programming language. So it's actually built in Rust. I think Node was built in C++, I think, or something. But Deno is built in Rust. It's created again by Ryan Dahl, original creator of Node.js, and is focused on productivity, which is cool. And then, yeah, so again, it was announced in 2018 during his talk, 10 things I regret about Node.js. So that's funny. So it built like a whole stir, and it's like this whole thing. Is Deno going to overtake Node? Is Node dead? Blah, blah, whatever. Neither here nor there, whatever. So yeah, so the website. Oh, so let me, while I'm here, let me just add this link. It has all this weird stuff at the end of it. Add the link to the Wikipedia so you can also check it out if you so choose. All right. I don't know what just happened. That was weird. Okay. So now the actual website is Deno, DENO.land. Right. So this is the actual website. So if you want to get more information about it, check it out. Now, so a modern runtime for JavaScript and TypeScript. So that's another thing. It's written in TypeScript. Well, you can use TypeScript like out of the box. All right. And so like if you want to install it, you could play around with it, do a bunch of stuff. It's pretty cool. And so the thing was like, I was like, well, I have this locally. Where can I deploy it that it would understand or what have you? Because Node, like, you just deploy Node pretty much almost anywhere and it works. Like Node runs in a bunch of places already. So like there's environments that already have Node. And so it's like, how would I set up Deno, or what have you? And so so that was the kind of thing where I was like, I mean, it's cool. I can run it locally, but what if I want to put it somewhere? And so then came across this thing, Deno or Deno.com/deploy. So let me add that. And so what this looks like is just a place where you can actually go and deploy your Deno scripts. And so it's pretty cool. So I kind of signed in, so I want to show something real quick, but everything kind of shifted on me. Cool. All right. So now, as it says, it's a globally distributed JavaScript VM virtual machine. And so what's cool is 1 second deploys. So you write your Deno code and then you push it to here. And they're saying 1 second deploys. You develop locally, deploy globally, which is pretty cool. So you do it on your computer, bam. 0 config, 0 maintenance, 0 headaches. So again, I don't want to have to figure out how to set up like somewhere where I can deploy my Deno stuff and it works. This does it for you. And it has TypeScript, WASM, WebAssembly, WebAssembly machine language, something like that, WASM, some WebAssembly, basically. Cool. And then ES modules. So that's pretty cool. And then you can sign up. And when you sign up, you just sign up through your GitHub account. And so that's what I did here. No, not there. Where's my thing at? So here's documentation. So it kind of shows you, so like hello world. And then for folks who like React, you can use JSX apparently. Let's see. Serving static assets. So, if you have like files, like images you want to serve, running scripts locally. I mean, that's all well and good, but I'm trying to get this on the web so other people can use it. And so it's cool. So now I guess there's an issue with persisting data because I guess the way the deploy works maybe is like, so I guess you can't persist data on there, right? So it's kind of like a one of the, like a just like a function that's like that's ephemeral, like it's only like the server starts up when you need it, and but then shuts down when you don't need it, kind of thing. And so for those, you can't really persist data. You know what I'm saying? So if you want like a list of customers or what have you, like you can save that once it's running, but when it's done, it's no longer there because it's the server's gone. So like stateless, they're like stateless functions basically. And so yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. So you can use, I guess, FaunaDB, DynamoDB, and like Firebase if you want to have a place where you can keep the data that you would want to reuse again. And then cool. So a bunch of examples, deployments, all type of stuff. So it seems pretty cool. And then API reference and the broadcast channel. So these are all like the different APIs that you can use and stuff. Fetch API, which is cool. A lot of good stuff. Now, I went to the actual, when I signed in, it took me to a dashboard, right? Will this take me to, so it took me to like this dash.deno.com/projects. And so I just created a quick project. So let's real quick. So what I did was I clicked new project, and then it gives me a random name, right? So then you can put in your own, but they have some stipulations on what you need to have in it. Then I just click create. And then so they have these things where like, so it has like the deploy URL that you can use. So like this hello world app. So they have examples that you can just use. So you can deploy from GitHub, which is cool. So you put in like a URL and it'll automatically it'll deploy on push. So you can link your project to a GitHub repository. And so as you push to the GitHub repository, it will deploy. So it's like updating. So that's pretty cool. So you can store your files and everything, like your code in GitHub, and you automatically push, and all without like zero configuration, which is pretty cool. So that's cool. All right. So so I clicked hello world before, and so that got me come on, this one here. Let's take a look at the hello world one. So all it was so far is oh, come on, it kind of tells you. Hold on, let me see. So yeah, so it's just a hello world. So the code, so I just went to the URL that it showed me, and it has two of them. Not sure why there's two, but again, I have to read more into it or what have you. But then you can see the source code of it, the logs, crash reports. Again, if there was linked to a GitHub repository, you'd see that there. So real quick, so the code for the hello world example was just you add an event listener for a fetch event. And so once you get that, you respond with a new response, hello world, with the status of 200 and the content type, the header of text plain. And that's it. You have like a web server that listens for fetch events, like requests, uses the fetch API to respond with just hello world. That's kind of awesome. So that's pretty cool. You know, there's like a whole bunch of stuff you normally have to do, but like in Node, but this is just that. So that's super cool. Then so let's for this one I just spun up this project. Let's do a chat server and see how quick that goes, right? So the chat server looks like it just whenever it connects to a broadcast channel called chat, and then it'll post the message. This is a message. So let's see what happens. I have no clue what's going to happen. So deploy it. And there we go. And so I can just apparently just go to, well, okay, this is the deploy URL. So if I want to deploy, but to look at it, let's see what happens here. Yeah. And so welcome, and it got connected. Wait, so just from that little bit of code, I have okay, so this is the actual front end, it looks like. And I guess it's connected to that thing I just deployed, because I did not write this part here, all this stuff. So this is, I guess, the sample code for the chat. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so let me open up another window. see how this works. So it looked like it's using the broadcast API, which is cool. So let me Dwayne. Oh, that's cool, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so as soon as I typed it, that became available. So it's not like I have to press enter or anything. Cool. Huh. Let's see. Other Dwayne. All right. Let's see what happens. Hello. Okay. So that should have sent a message to my actual thing I deployed, which connects everybody here because everybody gets connected through the thing. So where is it? World? Where'd it go? Oh, huh. Oh, I guess I have to send in order to be connected. So I have to send a message, I guess. All right. Let me see. But I sent world. Hold on. Test. Where do I hit enter? Yep, hit enter. Okay, cool. And then it's there. Huh. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. Okay. And then all I had to do was just deploy that. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So yeah, so now that I can just like deploy, I can just kind of work with the Deno stuff, deploy it, and see how it works out. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I'll be playing with that more. That there's that. And deploy from URL, deploy code with nothing more than a URL, which was that deploy URL right here. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna keep messing with that. But yeah, like I said, it's now you have a place to where you can play with it on the web and maybe use it like in a little project or what have you. Yeah, I'm digging it. Looks nice. All right. That's pretty cool. And then like on the Deno site, so it looks like you could also, so like here's, oh yeah, so here's the hello world that we looked at before. And see, this one, you didn't have to put like the status or anything. It's just, this is like the very basic one. And then here's the broadcast, which is like the chat that we did. And so again, listening for the fetch, the parameters, getting the message. That's cool. And responding with that. So this looked like it might be a thing where that's cool. So so this is like your server pretty much, which is kind of amazing. And then here's like the JSX for folks. So, oh, another thing what's cool is that there are like no node modules really. There's like no node module folders because what happens is it pulls it from like a URL, which is kind of cool. So like the code for the Nano server-side rendering library is here. And then you're just importing like the renderer function, the server-side rendering. I think this is Tailwind, I guess, from there. And then that way you can just use it here. So this is similar to like, React, I guess. And so you have this function, hello, you pass in the props, which, contains the name, and you're styling it, looks like with Tailwind, which is pretty cool. Hey, so yeah, so I guess these are Tailwind specific things. Like I never used Tailwind really. So I'm assuming these are like Tailwind specific things. That's why you have to pass in the TW so that it understands how to compile it properly. Cool. And then you have the H1 here. Okay, so I guess this makes it horizontal. I guess you can, like center it horizontally. And then here's the fetch. And then, so then you're passing in that hello. So you're responding. So you're creating like a server-side render of this function being completed. That's pretty cool. You know what? Let me try this. I mean, we're here. Might as well. So, because theoretically, since I'm already signed in, I should hit deploy. It was cool. Yeah, you can see the URL. It's just you deploy. That's kind of cool. Okay, so, and then you do all this with like the CLI and stuff. So they have a CLI, command line interface. All right, I'm interested in see what this looks like. So let's see if we can deploy this. It's a JSX file. So you could write like your React code and then be able to have it run on the server. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So, all right, create a new project. So it's going to be the Narrow Snail 95. 95 was a good year. Create it. This is pretty cool. What just happened? Enter the URL that your script is located at. Sure. Oh, so this is okay. So this was what was filled in from before. All right, deploy to production. Because again, you can use like your GitHub, if anything. Okay, or you can use from any other file that you may have had. Cool. So let's see what happens. So it's building down. So it downloaded this stuff. So like the nano stuff, and there we go. Huh. So let's take a look at what it looks like. I wish you would open it in a new window. All right, so hello world. So because world is the default, and of course, again, it opened up in the actual page, so I can't really go back. Great. But I think it said if you put like question mark name equals Dwayne. Hello, Dwayne. That is slick. That is kind of cool. And all it was is that you wrote some JSX and it got deployed and it did everything for you. That is, I'm impressed. That is awesome. That is pretty cool. So now, and just now I created like 3 random projects of this stuff. Yeah. So stuff like this makes me want to play around a little bit more with it. So this is super cool. And from what I understand, it's like globally distributed. So, like, depending on where your user is making the request to your server from, it will get to the closest, I guess, node where it was deployed. So it's a lot faster, kind of thing. That is slick. That is pretty cool. I see a blog post coming up in my future at my job. So I get to play with this and write a blog post, and that's part of my job. It's kind of amazing. So yeah, no, but this is super cool. Yeah, so it's an excuse to learn Deno now. That is cool. That is, and so wait, so then this, so if we look at the code, it should be like some Tailwind stuff in here. So yeah, so you see how it changed there, and it's server-side rendered. So it came directly from this thing. So I wonder if so it shouldn't need any sort of like JavaScript, I don't think. Let me see. Yeah, no JavaScript, is just the document. That is super cool. That is awesome. That is really cool. Nice. All right. That's cool. That is super cool. All right. My bad. I get excited about these things, but this is really, really cool. All right. I'm going to get you all back to work. I'm going to definitely delete these projects, but and to delete them seems pretty straightforward. Like here, and I think you can just, if you click it, I think it's settings. Yeah, and then you can just delete the project. But that is super cool. This action is not reversible. Yes. Yeah, that is, wow. So what do you all think? If you're watching this, let me know about Deno deploy. Does this make you want to like play around with it more or learn more about it? I think this may help with like the adoption of people using it and stuff. That is super cool. So yeah. All right. Thanks. I'm going to get you all back to work. And yeah, I need to get back focused so I can actually finish up before I start this side project. I really need to make sure I finish up the current side project that I'm working on. So, but then again, I can use it for work. So that's cool. Like I can use it to write a blog post. Yeah, no, that's super awesome. Okay, cool. Enough of me blabbering on. All right. We have one more break session. And so if you would like to try and sign up for a show and tell spot, please feel free. Otherwise, we're going to take a look at an artist's website that we play on the radio show. And yeah, so I'm going to get you all back to work. Again, thank you all for hanging out. I'm going to send you off with some tunes. This is Nujabez and Apani B. The track is called Thank You, because once again, I want to thank y'all and share my screen. But yeah, that is pretty cool. Like just playing with it just now, because I only signed up and deployed one thing, but now seeing and playing with it is pretty awesome. So looking forward to doing more with it. All right, cool. So again, thank you all for hanging out, and see you 15 minutes after the hour, maybe with a show and tell, or we'll take a look at an artist's website, listen to some music, and watch some videos. Either way, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a good time. All right, thanks again, y'all. I almost forgot to hit create a highlight video. I would have been upset. All right, here we go. Thanks, y'all. Be easy. See ya. Much productivity.
But let me start from the heart. I just want to stay. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. But let me start from the heart. I just want to stay. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock